Hi, this is Dr. Steve from Misericordia University. Welcome to this video technology tutorial.
In this video tutorial in Excel, let's consider how to create formulas. To create a formula, you have to be able to reference a cell. So if I look at this gray box, I'm going to create a simple formula called a cell reference, and I can do so by typing equals, and then the cell I want to reference is F8, where this 95 is. So I can type F8. Notice that it's highlighting that cell because it recognizes it. Now notice that anything that I put in F8 will now appear in this cell where the formula is equals F8. So if I type another number in there, it immediately appears in there. If I type text, it immediately appears in there as well. Rather than just typing equals and then something, instead I'm going to do equals followed by a mouse click. So if I click on something, again, it highlights it, gives a color code. I can hit enter, and now it's in there. And again, I can type numbers, I can type text. Realize that the equals is always necessary in order to start a formula in Excel. If I were to type E8, if I were to type E8, that's text in the cell. But now if I type equals E8, now I get to see what's in E8 over here. Or if I did equals and I clicked on E8, the same thing. Now some math is happening, and the math is a simple formula. So start with an equals and then type, or better off if you simply click on a cell to reference it. Now we can use this in order to do addition, subtraction, and so on, basic math. And this is better than just typing into a calculator or a calculator app. If I type equals and I click on a cell, and then I hit the plus sign, cell, plus sign, cell, plus sign, cell. Notice they're all color-coded. When I hit enter, I get the result here in this case, gray cell that I created. Now here's the beauty of this. I could go in and make a change on one or more of these cells. Notice that that answer has been updated. Even better, once I know that these 4 cells will be added over here in this gray cell, I can delete those contents and I can start again. That's why it's so good to be able to use these cell references and formulas in Excel. I can subtract cells. Equals, always start with an equals, click a cell, minus, click another cell, enter. I can multiply by using the star key. Equals, cell, star, which means multiply, and another cell, and there it is. Now right here you might say, well, that's 2,400 something, and there are no commas. That's a format cells issue. Let's go in and format cells. It's a number. I don't care about seeing decimal places, but I do want to see the thousands separator, which is the comma. And now, if we need this in this answer, it will appear. And finally, we can divide. So I'm going to do equals, cell, put the slash key, which is divide by, and another cell. And there you have it. Now, if I put 0 here, mathematicians know we cannot divide by 0. That's what this error message is saying. It's saying right now I cannot perform this. But if you put a number in there, I now can do that. So like I did earlier with the addition problem, if I prepare this formula to divide and I delete these contents ready for new numbers to be inputted, then we find that it will give me temporarily that error message. But it will be deleted once I add some numbers in. The order of operations in computer math. We all learned the order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. when we were in Algebra 1 class. And you might think that, well, I probably wouldn't need to really interact with that again. But in this case, we do, because the computer always uses please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, PEMDAS, as the order in which operations are performed. So I'm going to find the average, which many times teachers have to do. So here are three scores, and if I look at these three scores, three 100s would average to be 100. What's the formula? Well, we would say in words, if I asked you how to perform this, how to find an average, you would respond to me, we'll simply add them up and then divide by the number of scores, in this case 3 scores. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And by the way, it's not going to work right at this point because I'm not going to respect the order of operations. Let's add them up. Cell plus cell plus cell. There are 3 scores. Divide by 3. That's where the problem is going to occur. I'm going to hit enter. Ugh, that doesn't look like a good result. If you do this with your student scores, they're going to love you. People who got 3 100s in test, 3 perfect scores, instead of getting a 100 average, they have a 233 erroneous average. But why did this happen? Well, I'm going to click up in the formula bar because I know that the computer is going to say, are there any parentheses? That's the P from please excuse and so on. No. Are there any exponents? No. Is there any multiplication or division? Yes. Do it first. So what's really happening here is we're taking 100 divided by 3 and then simply adding 100 plus 100. What I have to do is to ensure that I add them up first and then divide by 3, I'm going to put parentheses. Notice I'm going to put parentheses right after the equals, before the first cell, add the 3 of them up, then put a second parentheses, and then divided by 3. Now that works. I'm going to do that one more time because if I forget to do it, I can add these in later on, or I can put them in immediately. If I know that I'm finding the average and I have to use parentheses, I will type equals, open parenthesis, and then add them up, cell plus cell plus cell, close the parenthesis, divided by the number of scores, which in this case is 3. Or if I forget to do that, and I say equals cell plus cell plus cell, divided by 3, I know that that's a ridiculous response here. All I have to do is click up in the formula bar, and I know that I forgot to put the parentheses in. Simply put parentheses after the equals and before the divide by. Hit enter, and now it works. Now you might say, oh, that looks terrible because it's 0.6666 and so on. That's a format cells issue. Say format cells, number, and now I can choose the number of decimal places. In this case, I might want to show 1 decimal place. And it rounded from all the 0.6s up to 0.7.